ready for another Sunday drive on a Saturday? Come on, let's go. So today is my birthday, and Scott is working at the rock show in Prineville, and I decided to take a drive over to the area where I used to live back when I was in high school. I went to all 4 years of high school at this little town. This little town is called Cove, and it is south of Madras and north of Redmond. Take a little shortcut here, and I'm going to take you right by the high school. It hasn't gotten very much bigger. Been here a couple of times in the last few years just to visit the area, but right over here is, whoops, sorry about that, the high school. Yep, and the roads are pretty crappy. The high school does look a little different. It looks like they put another little building here. The actual building that I went to school in was right here, the brick building. I think our graduating class was 21, and there were 7 guys to about 14 girls. Okay, we just passed the high school, and I had a catastrophe. The whole phone thing wanted to fall apart on me. So, yep, this is the very tiny town of Culver. It may have seen a little bit of growth, but not very much since I was here. I really wish that the clouds weren't hanging over the mountains right at the moment, because there are some absolutely beautiful views here. Of the Cascade Mountain Range. You can actually see a lot of the Three Sisters from here. But they're not going to show up very good in the camera view right at the moment. It was Mount Jefferson that was the mountain that we saw the most when I was growing up, because over on the property where we lived at, it was the only mountain that you could see. The Sisters wasn't visible from where I lived at. So twice a day, Monday through Friday, every day that we went to school, we actually had to drive through a park. And I'm going to be taking you through that park. But before we even go there, I'm going to take you up along what they call is Rimrock Drive. Suburban today, so it's a little bit different than what I'm used to. Big, and doesn't drive as well as my car does. Some things never change at all. It looks like the same property owners still own some of this place, or some of these places over here. This little store here was really cute at one time. It was like Western style, you know, and it was called the High Chaparral. My mom worked in there a little bit. Over here right at the moment, but that don't matter. We're gonna go here anyway. And then we'll get out and we'll look. This is Lake Billy Chinook. It's a massive lake where 3 rivers come together. The Crooked River, the Deschutes River, and the Metolius River. Right up here is where Mount Jefferson is, and I'm going to slowly pan over this direction. That right there is Black Butte, and these mountains coming up right here are the Three Sisters. So there's one of the parks down there, and a little bit further up the river and kind of up a hill is the Cove Palisades State Park. They used to have a little restaurant up there that I worked at when I was a teenager. So I have this overlook all to myself this morning. There's a houseboat. They rent boats and houseboats and everything down at the Cove Palisades State Park. Get out here on the edge. Not too far though. Yeesh. Can you see that down there? This is such a beautiful park. I didn't know how lucky I was when we were living here. But yeah, this place is awesome. Gonna walk up here to the other side and we'll be able to see further down. There are a couple of day use areas along this park. This road winds at least 10 miles through the canyon. And we're going to take a ride down there and around all those twisty-turny roads that are close to the lake. And we'll drive by some of the parks. And way up on the other side of the canyon over there, right in front of about where the sisters are, just up over on the canyon is another road that goes up the other side, and I think we can see it from here. I could probably zoom in a little bit. But there's another road that goes up the other side and up on top of the hill, and then back this direction a little ways is where I used to live, way over there. And Mount Jefferson was actually the only mountain that we could see really well. Today you can't see it because of the clouds. Dang it. I was really hoping to get some good pictures or a good video. I was going to take a drive all the way down to Round Butte and show you the dam. A lot of times around that area, there is eagles, bald eagles, and they have a nice viewpoint up there also. But you know, I think my day is getting a little bit longer than I had imagined. I still have to drive back to Prineville and do some stuff there, and then back out to the Ochico Reservoir where we're staying. So let's get back in the vehicle and we'll go down through the canyon and take you along for the ride along those roads. So we're back at the top of the canyon, and looks like we're going to be following a truck with a boat. If we have time, I'll go back and go out to the Round Butte Dam, because I didn't realize that it was only about 5 miles out that direction. I mean, I should have realized, but I didn't remember. So coming down along here is a KOA campground, or at least it used to be a KOA campground. I don't know if it still is or not, but it's one of the campgrounds that you can stay at. Yeah, this is kind of a tight little road too. The one thing that I definitely have to keep track of is rocks. Especially during the springtime, in this area, there's rocks on the road all over the place, and you have to be really careful. And it's definitely not one that you want to speed through. Twice a day, 5 days a week, you know, and sometimes on the weekends too, depending on, you know, whether we were going into Madras to go get something to eat or to go to the grocery store. Madras was the closest place, but we did go into Redmond quite a bit because they had a big discount food store that was there. So the first place we're gonna go is we're gonna go up the hill up to the marina area. They're now calling this up here the Cove Palisades Resort. Spent a lot of time in this lake during the summertime. The first year that we moved over here, the temperatures got up to 119. It was incredible. We were putting up fence, and our home hadn't been set up quite yet, and we were living in a camper. It was a huge camper, but yeah, for 5 people in that camper, for a month or so, or however long it was that we were in it, it became really small really quickly. So this is just the regular parking area, and the restaurant that I used to work at is right up that path, and it overlooks the lake. It's a cafe now. That's what they're calling it. Oh, and they have cabins down there too. Forgot about that. Yep, there were some crazy times out here, too. Of course, I was a pretty wild teenager. I think wild as I could be with being in trouble most of the time. I can't tell you, I spent at least half, if not longer, being grounded. Yeah. Yeah, we're not really going to go into those subjects. So, as I was coming out of the Cove Palisades State Park, my camera told me that I was out of space to do any more videos. So I had to go through and delete a bunch of stuff that I've done in the past, and hopefully I still have copies. If not, then I'm sure that Scott will have copies of it on his computer, because he's the one that helps me get those rendered and uploaded. I do the uploading myself, but he helps in putting all the pieces together and getting it ready for me to upload. So I don't know how much time I'm gonna have on this video, so I'm just going to see what happens. Let's just go along for the drive through the canyon. It's like a 10-mile trip here, and I'll try to point out some significant areas. There's one that's going to be coming up here fairly soon. For those of you that I know that some of my friends on YouTube started out the same way I did. They started out watching AWP, or Adventures with Purpose, and then they kind of branched out to different channels. So the reason why I brought them up is only because this is where, in the beginning, before AWP became really popular, this is some of the, or one of the places that Jared used to come and clean up the lake. You'll notice off in the distance there's a bridge, and I believe in one of the episodes, in one of his early episodes, that's where they were doing some diving and found some rifles under the water there. And plus, I think they even found like an ATM machine or something like that. So so it cut off on me again. I do not know what the problem is, because I created a bunch of space, and it's just wanting to turn off on me just automatically. So bizarre. Okay, so this particular bridge is a two-way bridge. It used to be anyway, but maybe because this big cement truck was on there, the guy decided not to go yet. But the next bridge that comes up, that goes up on the other side where I used to live at, that is only a single lane bridge. I'll be able to piece all of these smaller videos together, so that it makes sense. And it just cut out on me again. Boy, it's not letting me take very many videos at all, or the length of the videos. It's not letting me do any length in videos. So I have to figure out what the problem is with that. I did notice that my phone was hot, so maybe there's an issue. Maybe I should unplug it, because it is at 100%. I don't know if that will work or not, but I'll give it a try. So off on the right here is a little place where we used to park beside the road, and it looks like some other people here are here, and go down and fish. It's a good little fishing hole. So it appears that my phone keeps getting hot, and I have no idea why, but I did change around some things, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll be better. So we're partway through the canyon right now, and we're coming up to a camping spot. There's a group camp that's down here at this end. And there's a day use area and boat launch that is coming up on the right. We're almost to it. We're not quite to it yet, but there we go. And we'll take a short drive up there and show you this area. This is the day use and boat launch area. It's one of the day use areas. You know, down there at the bottom of the canyon and down below the Cove Palisades State Park, there was another day use area there and a boat launch also. And so we're almost down to the boat launch area. And this is the boat launch area and the day use area. So, yeah, I better turn around here. Popular place for Central Oregon. It's not really easy to get to though from the valley either direction, so that's why we don't have hordes of people at this location, but sometimes it does get that way. This lake is pretty calm, and since it's down here in the canyon, it's a great place for kayakers and canoers, and you know, and a lot of water skiing goes on around here too. Oh, this really stinks about my phone, because I have no idea why it is acting up like this, because it never used to do this. It would run for, you know, an hour and I wouldn't have any problem at all with it doing that, but for some reason lately it has not been doing so good. It's not even terribly hot around here. It's kind of cool for this time of year over here. This is just... It's not even giving me a whole 5 minutes, I don't think. Hopefully we'll be able to salvage something out of this. this is another area that was always bad about having rocks hit the road and having to stop and pick them up and get them out of the way. And trust me, this road is not fun to drive on with ice and snow. As you saw back there, there wasn't even any guardrails there, and it wasn't quite a drop down to the lake. So now we're coming down to the single lane bridge. You have to stop and wait until the other person is across from the other side. And this is also another area where we used to park, and we'd go down over the other side on the left-hand side, and we would fish down over on the bank, because you could climb down on the rocks and get close to it. This canyon does have some hairpin corners. My brother, the second oldest brother, he got a skateboard for Christmas one year. I think it was for Christmas. And he decided to ride that skateboard down this road from up at the top. And some friends of ours that were friends of the family that lived out at Three Rivers, which you can get to from here, had just come up around this corner when my brother came around, and he went straight underneath of their vehicle. He was laying down on the skateboard. He is so lucky he did not get hit. It scared them quite a bit, because they went and talked to my parents and told them about what Bill had done. Yeah, he got in a little bit of trouble for that. Now this hill that's up here on the left, I don't think you'll be able to see it very well because of the trees, but there is a road that, well, a dirt track basically on it. That particular place, there's a couple of different stories that I'll tell you about that place. But yeah, that'll be saved for a different video at a different time. I've got so many stories. I don't know how interested, everybody will feel about these different stories and everything, but a lot of this stuff is being recorded also for my grandbabies and my sons, because they may be stories I never told them before, and my grandbabies live up in northern Washington, so, and with COVID and everything, we really haven't seen each other a lot during that time. this little there used to be a gas station and store right here. I don't know if it's operational right now. Over here on the left-hand side is a dirt runway for small airplanes. And down this direction is where I lived at. And the place on the right was never here when we were here. I have no idea. It looks like a rural fire department type thing. Everything looks different, but the place over here is the property that my parents used to own. And that barn that is now collapsed and no longer any good is one that my grandpa built. They took out all the fences. They took out the road that was there. Oh my goodness. That is just amazing how different it looks today. Totally amazing. That place looks like a total dump. My parents worked really hard on that. And it does look like some of our fence is still up along the outside border here, but wow, that's pretty amazing. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to head back, and I'm going to try to capture some more video. Like I said, I don't know what's going on with this phone, but I think I'm done in this area unless I decide to go up to Round Butte Dam and take some photographs there. Otherwise, I'm going to head back to Prineville. Crown Butte Overlook Park. Look at this sign over here. Lake Billy Chinook. Okay, let's go over here and see what we can see. Well, you can see it goes all the way back up in there. It was a 5-mile drive from the beginning of Rimrock Drive. Here's some more placards right here. And there is below the below the dam. It's really quiet up here. Really, really quiet. Whew. It's pretty far down there. There we go. So, it doesn't look like we'll see any eagles today. I was hoping that we would. But I really can't hang around. I can't really hang around any longer. I need to get back to Prineville. So, this is it for today, people. Thank you so much for coming along for the drive. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.